She needs to be on a better. She needs to be on a better team, and she needs to be more experienced.
Is there a world where the Indiana Fever are just trying to keep their core together? Some of them are going overseas, so maybe in this scenario, just kind of taking a step back from all the drama, letting everything kind of cool down. Maybe it is a good thing that Caitlin Clark isn't playing in Unrivaled.
After months of bringing Caitlin Clark down, she made her own decision. And now ESPN is frantically trying to come up with terrible excuses that don't apply to Unrivaled but do apply to Europe. ESPN has made a huge mistake and is now ranting about her new deal in Europe as if they have any control over her actions. In contrast to the WNBA's geniuses, Clark has a great degree of self-respect and common sense, and she has packed her belongings and refuses to look back, no matter how much they complain, beg, or stamp their feet. Because Clark values herself, she won't remain and serve as a punching bag for a league that can't even defend its best player.
She says she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said. That is what she said, okay?
Referees have ignored her, players have abused her, and critics who couldn't believe she was maintaining this ridiculous league on her own have hounded her.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
However, everyone is going nuts because she has decided that she is worth more than being the NBA's battered cash cow. I'm sorry, ESPN. Your golden goose has flown the CPE, leaving you with a big empty nest of missed opportunities. It's almost comical how ESPN is acting as like it cares about Caitlin Clark's shocking revelation to the WNBA and her departure for Europe. After carrying the entire WNBA on her back the entire season, getting serious fouls, and getting body-checked like she was on a hockey rink instead of a basketball court, Caitlin has finally had enough and is leaving a trail of crushed egos and broken hopes. And guess what? I don't blame her in the slightest.
This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie.
You see, this is more than just a player switching careers. The WNBA did nothing but sit back and watch as the referees treated her like a punching bag. Fans did not sign up for a UFC fight, but the WNBA became one anytime Clark was on the court. Remember her last game with the Connecticut Sun? She was basically a one-woman show, scoring 29 points, dishing out 10 assists, and grabbing 7 rebounds. Meanwhile, her teammates were busy acting out a comedy of errors, missing easy shots, and making dumb moves that would make a high school coach win.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
ESPN and its analysts are finally waking up, and all of a sudden they realize they've been sitting on a cash cow the entire time. Before Caitlin, the Indiana Fever were fortunate to draw 3,000 people to each game, which was more like a neighborhood block party than a professional event. However, after she arrived, 177,000 fans flooded the arena, a 400% increase.
The Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,035 at home, 15,000 on the road. Attendance for the entire league up nearly 50% this year, according to data from across the timeline. And Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of, like I said, of 17,035.
How's that for impact? They had a once-in-a-generation event, not just a celebrity. But let's keep the focus on sharing the wealth instead of celebrating the one athlete who made the WNBA famous. If Caitlin CLA is the golden girl milk, she is the quote-unquote savior, and let's not even talk about the strong sales. Caitlin Clark's jersey sold out more than any other player in league history, including legendary Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. We're talking about a rookie and first-time player surpassing Hall of Famers, which is not only incredible but historic. She turned the WNBA into a must-watch television show, and her games were almost national events. However, has ESPN ever treated her like the superstar she is? Nope, they gave her mediocre coverage as if she were just another athlete, and now they're hurrying as if they didn't sleep on her ESPN.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
Let's talk about the number of views. With her gone, there are still a lot of vacant seats at the game against the New York Liberty, which drew 1.5 million viewers, more than some NBA games on TNT. Unclean analysts from Jersey and ESPN are trying to understand how they ruined the most straightforward victory in sports broadcasting history. It's funny to see ESPN and everyone else scramble to pay attention after Caitlin Clark's WNBA nightmare, now that she's decided to leave the league and head to Europe.
She needs to be on a better team, and she needs to be more experienced.
Every time Clark put on her shoes, it felt like she was walking into a street fight. Instead of defending herself, she was being pushed, elbowed, and beaten, basically every dirty tactic in the book. How did the league react? By acting as though nothing was happening. Imagine being a rising star and the face of a team, but the league treats you like a punching bag.
The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs.
Additionally, if you watched any of her games, it seemed like the referees were playing "see no evil, hear no evil" while Clark was being beaten on the field. She honestly said that she felt like she was being beaten, so what did the WNBA do? I dismissed it as if it were just another Tuesday. The WNBA chose to ignore the famous eye poke incident, which should have served as a wake-up warning for everyone, as though it were commonplace for a brilliant player to be treated like an invader in their own league.
Important that we point this out. One of the things that I brought up this morning in talking about Caitlin Clark is that some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy, fine. You want to use the word resentment. We want to play with words. That's cool.
It is impossible to describe the emotional toll. Every missed call and every cheap shot drags you down. You're working extremely hard to support a team, but in return, you're made to feel vulnerable and reprimanded for not being "give me a break, please." The league and its supporting media have made such a huge mistake that it is still going on, and now they are trying to play catch-up, which is pitiful.
And this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark.
But hold on, things will get much better. Take Alyssa Thomas's remarks on racial bigotry in the fan base, for example. What did ESPN do when Thomas claimed that Clark's appeal is based on racial dynamics rather than, her astounding brilliance?
During the first 2 minutes of the first round playoff game of the Connecticut Sun versus the Indiana Fever, Dejanay Carrington poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. Caitlin fell to the ground. She was holding her face. The refs did not call a foul. They didn't call a flagrant foul. The play continued. But now a lot of people online are asking for the WNBA to review this play because as multiple angles have come out of this play, it seems like it might have been intentional.
Instead of emphasizing her record-breaking performances, they framed her accomplishment through the lens of race. Clark was out there breaking ankles, setting records, and carrying a team on her back, and they want to make her success into a racial issue. They ate it up racing with this ridiculous story like it was breaking news.
It's all just misguided over-hatred of Caitlin Clark. And pointing the finger at those guys, they're the racists, when really, y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
How did Clark react? She remained steadfast in her assertion that her success is the result of her hard work and determination, not some made-up racial narrative, but the fact that she had to do so shows how skewed the media narrative has become. And then, because they obviously can't read a room, they lean in trying to stir the pot even further.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And
in the meantime, how does this impact public opinion? They could have presented her as the next big thing, which, spoiler alert, she is, but instead they created a scenario that only serves to undermine her reputation and pull everyone down. The league needs to wake up and realize that this kind of mess is not only hurting Clark, but also making the entire WNBA look amateurish. And let's not even talk about the WNBA's inclusive narrative. Clark has worked hard, and now she's dealing with sideshow scandals instead of getting the recognition she deserves. Throughout the season, they positioned themselves as the league of equality and opportunity, yet they fell short when it came to protecting their most prized asset.
And so I sit here, she's got 14,000 followers. And it's really easy to ignore, and most people don't know who she is in the sports world. The only reason why people even know who she is because of Caitlin Clark. And she still only got 14,000 followers on Twitter. She doesn't have much of a brand.
The WNBA and ESPN will soon suffer the repercussions of disregarding the one player who made them an entertaining spectacle. They let it slip away, and now they have to watch as Caitlin takes her skills and all the attention she has brought to a league that truly values them. She is packing her bags for Europe, and everyone seems to have realized she is the real deal too late. The WNBA could have built a whole team around her, making her the face of the league, but they didn't, and now they've lost their biggest star.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
And ESPN is sitting there trying to change the story and save face when, in fact, they made a mistake and let a generational gift slip through their fingers, leaving them with nothing. Good luck to Caitlin Clark in Europe. She's going somewhere that will actually appreciate her talent and not be tormented every game while the officials turn a blind eye. What about ESPN and the WNBA? Perhaps this will serve as a wake-up call for them, as they are currently the target of a joke they didn't realize they were delivering. ESPN will be in total chaos as a result of her departure to Europe, and they will have to bid farewell to the juicy ratings. When Caitlin Clark packs her bags and leaves for Europe, ESPN and the WNBA face a significant void that will be difficult to fill. They may have built an empire around her, but now they are left fumbling for scraps. You don't get players like Clark every day, so when you treat them like kings, ESPN squandered that chance and they're going to suffer the consequences. The irony is that they're trying to hype up players who can't compare to Clark's performance in a single season. The WNBA had an opportunity to be great, but they blew it. Enjoy Europe, Caitlin. You deserve much better than this shit. Everybody.